build a sales funnel, but I have no idea which software to use. What's up guys, Jason here, aspiring entrepreneur, and in this video we are going to be talking about the 3 best sales funnel solutions. So we're going to put 3 on the chopping block. We're going to have a done for you versus DIY versus extreme tight budget DIY. So make sure you stick around to the end if you're on a really tight budget, because the last one is a super unique one that I actually have not seen anywhere else. So really you have 3 options when it comes to webinar software. So I'm going to run through those 3 options and then do the pros and cons of each. And make sure after you're done watching the video to check out the links in the description, because I actually have additional videos and playlists on my channel and some other great channels that I found that will help you go through the process. So whichever path you choose, you are covered in terms of how to actually implement it. So we'll kick things off here. First, we have the done for you solution, which is ClickFunnels. Then you have the do-it-yourself version, which is Thrive Themes or OptimizePress. And then you have the fun duct tape one. I'm not going to say the software you use for that. You'll have to stick around till the end because that one is a real fun one. But if you're on a super tight budget and you want to know how to do it 100% free, I mean, not even paying a penny, that's the one for you. But we'll first start off with kind of the Ferrari of the 3, and that is ClickFunnels. Now, what's cool about ClickFunnels, it's a 100% hosted solution for you that does all of the fun back-end stuff. Really, it's like any other landing page builder, except it includes all the page types you need to put together a sales funnel. So one of the big pros of this is that you don't have to really touch any back-end code. Right? What's really cool about this is it's designed specifically to create sales funnels. Where most page builders kind of fall short is they're pretty much a landing page and a thank you page, and maybe they have some, sales page templates, but that's about it. ClickFunnels has you covered on all fronts. And in their super easy interface, you can actually choose whether or not you're doing a sales funnel, you're doing a launch funnel, you're doing a webinar funnel, and it will automatically create all the pages for you. And as you can see in the overlay screenshots here, it's really easy to kind of go through and step by step have them put together the funnel for you, and then you just edit the page templates. Now, another big pro of ClickFunnels is it includes a shopping cart, right? Where the other 2 solutions I'm going to go over actually don't include shopping carts. And you can wind up paying, $100 to $200 a month for shopping cart software. So the fact that ClickFunnels weighs in at just $97 a month, it's a really sweet deal if you have that cash to spend. And the biggest pro is it is a huge time saver. It's going to be the fastest and easiest to implement of the 3 because you are paying a premium for them to do a lot of the hard work for you. Now, the big con or downside essentially is the cost, right? The cost and then control. So number 1, in terms of cost, it's going to cost you around $1,164 a year. That's the $97 a month plan, which is what I'd recommend. I wouldn't recommend the $297 one. You don't have to really touch that if you're just getting started. And that's a pretty steep price point, especially when lots of that money could be spent on, growing your particular social media channel or spending money on advertising. And then con number 2 is if you ever want to leave ClickFunnels, well, you're going to have to go rebuild everything in another place. That's kind of self-explanatory, but that's just a downside of all, software as a solution services and page builders, where if it's not on your own WordPress site, you don't really own it. You don't really get to take it with you. And speaking of WordPress, that leads us to option number 2, which is the DIY, do-it-yourself sales funnel style using Thrive Themes or OptimizePress. Personally, I recommend OptimizePress. Again, I have a link to ClickFunnels and OptimizePress, affiliate by the way, in the description, so you can go, check out those services and compare the 2. But the big advantage of doing it yourself is you actually own everything that you're building. It's on your own site. Now that comes with a con on the flip side, which is when something goes wrong, you don't exactly have ClickFunnels support to just reach out to and say, hey, something's broken, can you please fix it? You're kind of on the hook, and you are going to have to learn a little bit of HTML, get comfortable with WordPress, which I think every entrepreneur should at some level. However, it's just a steeper learning curve, and it takes a tremendous amount of more time. So you're essentially trading time and money here. ClickFunnels costs a lot more because it's $1,100 a year versus this solution where if you're purchasing Thrive Themes or ClickFunnels, you're going to pay around $100 or $200 depending on the version you get per year for the WordPress theme. So you do save a tremendous amount of money. However, another con here that I have to point out is with the self-hosted solution, you're still going to have to look for a shopping cart. Now, you're going to be looking at something like Thrivecart or Samcart. I really like Samcart, but that's anywhere from another $20 to $50 a month. So the math breaks down like this. The total cost with Samcart would be $577 for the DIY solution. However, there are plugins out there for WordPress that are anywhere from $100 to $50 or $50 to $100 that will allow you to take payments, but then you need to get an SSL certificate. And so that would bring the total cost around $300 per year for the DIY solution. And personally, that's the one I recommend the most out of the three because it gives you full control and you're able to change things and you're not paying this really high monthly fee, which I can tell you from personal experience when you're just getting started and your business isn't exactly making a ton of dough yet, that $97 a month becomes a huge drain on your growth because you should be spending that money on advertising and improving your sales process. And remember, I have links in the description to help you kind of figure out how to put all of this together, as well as playlists from other channels who go through this, the entire DIY sales funnel process. And so now we have what I like to call the duct tape solution. This was a fun challenge that was given to me where essentially I had a video that talked about different ways you could save money putting together a sales funnel, but I took on the challenge of saying, hey, if I was starting with absolutely no money at all, what would it look like? And so here's the unique one. If you are literally bare bones, just need something up and running and don't want to spend a dime. So this is a duct tape solution using Google Sites, MailChimp, Evernote, Wave Accounting, or PayPal. Okay, so this is going to be a real fun one. So essentially for your landing pages, your sales pages, and your content delivery, you use Google Sites. Now what you can do is use a tool like Bitly or Google Shortener to shorten the Google Site code so when you're sharing it or using it in your ads, you don't have that super weird, awkward, Google Sites URL. And essentially what you do is you use one Google page and you create a web form in MailChimp. And so MailChimp is free to get started. So you create a web form in MailChimp, you put that on a Google site, you have your headline, you have your bullet points, or you can just do a squeeze page with a headline and a cool background. And that's all possible with Google Sites 100% free, right? And then when someone opts in, you set MailChimp to send them to another Google Sites page where essentially you have a thank you, you can put your VSL, you can put your sales letter on a Google site, and then at the bottom to collect payments, you can use something like Wave Accounting, which is free, or you can use a PayPal Pay Me link as well. And so that is a really fun way to essentially just get started with absolutely nothing. So there's now no excuse at all for not having a sales funnel because it's not going to be the prettiest one in the world, but it's going to get you up, it's going to get you running, and it's going to help you get started until you can afford one of the first two options. And so obviously the big pro with this one is it's 100% free. The big con is it's definitely a short-term solution, and I don't think it's very sustainable long term, but it will get you started, and that's the important part. So thank you for watching. I hope you got some value out of this video. If you did, go ahead and hit that like button and then subscribe. And once you hit subscribe, check out the description because depending upon which one you think is best for you, I have links to videos and playlists and affiliate links to the actual service pages so you can go check out all of your options. Again, I hope this video was helpful in figuring out which software is best for you. And so hit that like button, subscribe, comment below if you have any questions about other softwares you've run into or need help figuring out which software solution is best for your situation. And until the next video, keep building the business you love. Take care.